Greetings friends, Jawless Paul here. Welcome to a guides, tips, and tricks video for Hades. This time we're talking about the weapon aspects. I'm gonna tier rank them, kind of similar to how I did with the keepsakes. Hopefully this video will be a little bit shorter because there's not as many. But I want to talk about each of the different aspects. Each weapon has a Zagreus aspect, so it's basically how the weapon used to be, but buffed a little bit. And then two new weapon aspects that kind of fundamentally change certain things about the weapon. And when I'm ranking these, I'm going to be kind of brutal. I'm going to rank them based on their power level. So some of them, even though they have excellent flavor, or they're transformative in how they work, I do like that they're transformative. But I'm going to rank them based on how powerful they are, or how good your run is almost assuredly going to be if you take the weapon aspect. And I will be a little bit. So there are a few of them that are they are very powerful. They're very, very good, but they're not transformative at all. And I'm pretty critical of that. Especially if it's not a Zagreus, if it's not the Zagreus aspect, right? So if it's any of these tiers of weapon aspects, I'm looking for a transformational change, not just a stat boost. Because some of these weapons do have a transformational change, and it is awesome and it's fun to see. But anyway, let's get right into it. Let's talk about the sword. Oh, before I do, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, if it's helpful for you. I really appreciate. I've gotten a lot of new members to the channel. We streamed a little bit last night, a New Year's stream. It was great. I appreciate it very, very much. And yeah, we'll move on from there. Zagreus aspect. Zagreus aspect sword increases your movement speed by 30%. Just a flat movement speed increase. So it's a stat increase. I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't like it because it's pretty bland. It's not as spicy as some of the other ones are, and I don't quite understand it. Movement speed is good, and to avoid certain attacks, it's very nice to be faster. 30% faster is definitely something, and it'd be cool to do a movement speed build where you try to get as much movement speed as you could. But sometimes movement speed can kind of stab you in the back, I guess. If you're, especially in Asphodel, you're running around, or if you're avoiding traps, sometimes the extra movement speed can be troublesome. You can get yourself in some trouble with that. So I put this in the D tier. That may seem a little bit brutal, but of the Zagreus aspects, this is probably my least favorite one by a fairly large margin. It's just not. It's not interesting. It doesn't interest me, and it doesn't make it more powerful. You just get faster. Let's go to the next one, Nemesis aspect. So these cost quite a bit more blood, by the way. A Zagreus aspect, to max that out in any of the weapons, I think is just 5 blood. You only need 5. But these you need quite a bit more. I think up to 15 for this one, because the last tier requires 5, and it gets expensive. It's a lot of blood. Nemesis aspect, though, let's talk about it. So Nemesis aspect, after you use your special for a period of time, your sword has critical chance. You see by your shiny face right there. This is an A tier aspect, in my opinion. Very, very good. I mean, 30%, 35% bonus critical chance. I mean, I would be ecstatic to have that much critical chance on an Artemis boon, right? Like on an epic Artemis boon, it'd be sweet. None of Artemis's abilities are up to 35%. So it's quite a lot of damage. This is good no matter what build you put it on, right? You can put it on. You can do anything. I mean, your most benefit, you get the biggest benefit or the biggest impact if you take like a Poseidon, Athena, or Aphrodite attack, right? Like you're gonna see bigger numbers, I guess. Whereas like an Ares, Ares or Dionysus, or Zeus, those are secondary sources of damage, and so you don't see that critical effect on those boons. So, and then you wouldn't want to get Artemis necessarily, because you've already got tons of crit on your attack. You don't need any more crit. You're fine. You want attack damage at that point. So it's A tier. Is it transformative? I don't think so. This is the way I play this sword all the time anyway. I do a special, and then I do some dashes and some slashes, and you know, I generally mash my fingers across my controller to do a bunch of damage. And so it didn't change the way that I played at all, which made it like even more powerful because I didn't need to do anything different. So, and it's 3 seconds, which is a long time to do critical chance, bonus critical chance. So, A tier, not super transformative though. I like it just because I like big numbers. You get World Splitter, and then you get crit, and then you get, you know, Aphrodite on your attack, which buffs it by like 100 and some percent, and then you get some palms for that, and you get some massive numbers, and that's a lot of fun. You get some big crits. Who doesn't like a big crit? Everyone likes big crits. Let's be real. So yeah, that's a good one. Poseidon aspect. Poseidon aspect, your special dislodges bloodstones from foes, and you get bonus cast damage. I actually really like Poseidon aspect sword. It's a good weapon. It's a lot of fun. So you put your cast stones, and then they all dislodge when you do that. So in a lot of ways, your Poseidon sword, you're gonna be using your cast and your special more so than you're gonna be using your attack. So you definitely want a cast that lodges into foes. So not your blade rifts, not your festive fogs, but anything else will work on this. Yeah, I like this a lot. Is it the most powerful thing in the world? I don't think so. It's B tier in my opinion. You can get some really nice combinations where you get, you get dislodge damage. I had a run where I had some pretty nice dislodge damage from Artemis, and so like you would do your special, and it was a pretty big burst of damage with all the dislodges, and then you get the legendary, and you have 6 of them in there. Whew, it gets pretty nuts. Some pretty big chunks taken out of enemies. So I like it a lot. It's B tier. I don't think it transforms. Well, no, I'm sorry. It does transform the weapon a lot. I play this very, very differently. I don't use my attack at all. Well, I do, but I really don't. Once I get a good cast online, I'm pretty much using cast and special, and just over and over again. It's super fun. I think this one is very, very fun. But is it as powerful as like Nemesis? Probably not. I mean, it cast damage plus 50%. That's a lot. But you'll see in a minute, it's not that much compared to some. But it's definitely a strong contender. B rank is a respectable slot, and that's where I'm putting Poseidon. All right, next let's talk about the spear. So we have the Zagreus Aspect Spear, bonus special speed and range. So let's see how far. It's like off the screen, way over there. It went very far indeed. It went very far indeed and very, very quickly. So let's compare this to a regular. Let's just take Hades. Okay, so it's slower. This is fine. It goes a lot farther, and this is fine. But I don't love it. Yeah, It's not the stats that I want on the spear, that it has extra speed and range, right? Like that doesn't really like excite me or get me. There's nothing that doesn't make me think, ooh, let's try this thing. It is better for like if you get the Daedalus Hammer upgrade where the spear bounces between enemies. It bounces really fast and that comes back to you really fast, and that's nice for sure. And if you have a large room and you've got a long row of enemies, it's gonna shoot across there very, very quickly. And I suppose you could get some pretty nuts if you get your special speed increased with Hermes. You could get some pretty nuts high speed spear things, but I don't think it's particularly amazing. It's better than 30% movement speed. I put it in C tier. There's no real builds that are much improved greatly by it. It's just kind of an interesting thing in my opinion. So C tier for that. Achilles aspect. Achilles aspect. After your special, you can retrieve your spear with Raging Rush. Your post-rush bonus damage 150% to your next 2 attacks or casts. This is an amazing weapon This is an S tier. This is our first S tier weapon. So 150% damage to your attack is nice, right? You could get a nice like spin attack, but think about it with your cast. All right, so you get a cast that does base of 200 damage. Well, suddenly it's doing 400 damage. Is that right? Did I do that math right? It does a lot more damage. Sorry, 500 damage, right? Yeah, 500 damage. It's a lot of damage, and it's for 2 of your casts, right? You only have 3 bloodstones to start, and using Raging Rush is great, right? Like you throw it, it's like another dash basically, and then your things are empowered. There's nothing wrong with this. It is so good. It is transformational. It changes the way you play with the spear. It's fun. You get big numbers. I can't say enough good things about this weapon. It's one of my favorites. It's certainly in my top 2 or 3 of the new weapon aspects. It's so much fun. So yeah, S tier on that one. Doesn't need much more explaining. I can't think of a build. You're going to use your special and you're going to use your casts a lot. It may not use. I wouldn't use my attacks at all, really, because you don't want to lose that benefit to your attack. In my opinion, this is the best cast weapon in the game. Achilles aspect. It's so powerful. Imagine sending out two blade rifts that are doing 150% extra damage. It's nutso. Works with blade rifts, works with Phoenix shot, works with Poseidon cast. Those are all really, really, really good, really, really fun. Definitely S tier. And then this is like an extra dash. I mean, an extra dash is it's definitely beneficial. It's a good positional weapon as well. Can't say enough good things about Achilles aspect. It's so good. Hades aspect. Let's read this first. Your spin attack is replaced with punishing sweep. Once struck by your spin attack foes, take more damage from your attack and special. 150% more damage from your attack and special. So this is your spinny spear aspect. So those of you who like the spin attack a lot, this is your weapon. Do I like the spin attack though? I can't say that I really do, and I'll tell you why. Even this version of it, it's better. It's definitely better than the original spin attack. But the spin attack is currently in its current state, in my opinion, is too slow. You pretty much, if you want a spinny build, you need quick spin. It's really difficult to do well with the spin attack if you don't have quick spin, and so it's got an extra piece to the puzzle that is not there. You need to find. So I put this. What did I do? I think I put this in C. Oh dear, I put it in D tier. That may be a little bit harsh. Spin attack just really is not. It's not something that I like unless I can find quick spin. If I can't find quick spin, I feel very unsafe using spin most of the time. I've had a lot of runs where I've taken the spear, gotten all excited about the spin attack, and I've died a lot quicker than I wanted to because I was trying to charge up my spin, and so it put me in a vulnerable spot, and positionally it was not great. There's also a recovery period with the spin that you can get hit in, right? Like there's a moment after you spin, even if you do the little dash. Even the little dash thing, there's a little bit of a delay before you can dash again. But the other thing about the spin, or the other thing about this, in comparison to say like the Achilles, you have to hit them with punishing sweep before they take the extra attack and special damage, right? So it's not just a flat 150% bonus damage to your next 2 attacks or casts. I'll just say casts. Your next 2 casts do 150% more damage. No, you have to hit them with your spin attack. And so, like the spin attack is large, right? It does fill a large portion of the screen, but if you don't get it, you have to charge up another one to try to hit enemies again. I just don't like it. D tier, high D tier, I'll say. C tier, and I know there's a lot of people that love this weapon. I can guarantee it. But if you're not playing with the higher heat, the forced overtime, man, it is really tough to get good spins set up in some of those rooms when they're going 50% faster. Anyway, D tier for Hades aspect. All right, the shield. Zagreus aspect. This, you have damage reduction, 15% damage reduction, just flat for carrying around the Zagreus aspect. This is an A tier Zagreus Shield, right? It makes sense, right? Having 50%, 15% damage reduction just makes sense. You're carrying a shield around. It should protect you a little bit, I think. So I like it a lot. It's the perfect stat. It makes sense, like thematically. It makes a lot of sense. It does not transform the way the weapon works in any way, but it's just such a good stat. 15% damage reduction is a super good stat. Not a whole lot else to say. I guess I didn't mention on Hades.
What infernal forge created you? It
maybe does change the way you play because you might do more sweeps, but or more punishing sweeps. I wouldn't use it though. I wouldn't use punishing sweep. Yeah, I just don't like this weapon. I've killed myself too many times with that weapon. On lower heat, maybe it's a fun option. You can see what kind of big numbers you can get against enemies with that. It's really good against bosses, I'll say that. Like you get, because if you hit them with the sweep on the boss, then you've got an opportunity to really pump in the damage for a while. Anyway, moving on. Back to the shield. Talked about Zagreus aspect. A tier for sure. Chaos aspect. This, after you bull rush, your next special throws multiple shields, 5 bonus shields at max level. This is an S tier weapon. This is so good. This is so good, and it's strange because when I first tried it, I thought to myself, this is not great. I got like 1 or 2 ranks in chaos aspects. It was like throwing 3 shields, and I was like, oh man, this is really not. It's not that great. It's not that good of an aspect. But let me tell you, friends, you get it to rank 3, 4, and 5. Whew, you are doing some awesome shotgun damage with the shield. It is good with just about any build that uses your special. It's just amazing. So like the only one that I can think of that wouldn't be ideal would maybe be Ares. So like you don't necessarily want 5 stacks of Ares going off against an enemy. But everything else is so good. Doesn't really matter. It's all good. You do so much damage. I will say too that it transformed the way that I play with the shield for sure. I never really used bull rush all that much before, but since I started using chaos shield, it's just like chaos aspect. It's it just changes the way I play quite a bit, and it's very, very fun. You bull rush across the screen, and then kill everyone. The shields just explode out of you, and in the satisfying explosion of shield. It doesn't come back or doesn't fly around the same way the other shields do, but that's all right. I'll say too, I think by a fairly large margin, the shield is the best weapon available to you. Its kit is really good, right? You've got bull rush, even just the base Zagreus. It's so good. So it doesn't take much to make the shield better, and these just push it way over the top. So the shield is at a bit of an advantage anyway. And bull rush is so good. This is the only damage negation skill we have. You can just stand here. If you're fighting Hades and he pulls out his lasers and he's trying to laser you down, guess what? You can block it all. You face him, and that is all being negated. It's fantastic. It's so good. Anyway, moving on. Chaos aspect, S tier easily. Zeus aspect. Your special is replaced with Blitz Disc. In my opinion, this is the most transformative of the weapon aspects that we have got. This is so cool. It's so different from how the shield worked before, and it has such a cool effect. I love it. I love it so much. Is it the most powerful thing in the world? I don't think so. I put it in the B tier. With no disrespect. It's quite good. It's fun. It does good damage. It's maybe a little bit harder to use. Well, it's a lot harder to use. I'll say that. If you want to use this effectively, it takes a little bit more thought on your part. Many times I've been running around and I realize like, oh, my shield is way off on the other side of the room and I haven't even been using it. You still can use your shield, by the way. When that one's floating around like a flying saucer, you can still use your shield, which makes it really cool. So I put this solidly in B tier. With no disrespect, it's just not as powerful as some of these other options are. And I'll leave it at that. A lot of fun. Love the Zeus aspect. Love it a lot. At rank 5 or level 5, it does 30 base damage, which is good. That's good damage. It's very good. Good builds for that. I think anything that utilizes the special, whether you're putting poison on, or whether you're putting Eris Bow, Doom curses on, it's good. It's just a solid choice. All right,
let's go.
The bow, Zagreus aspect bow. I'll just go ahead and level this up. Might as well. So critical attack chance up by 10% without doing anything else. You just do 10% critical strike chance on your attack. This is an amazing weapon aspect for the bow. It's A tier for sure. There's no situation which you don't want 10%. More critical strike. It's just amazing. It's so good. It's so good, and crits are fun because you just get big numbers, right? Like, so if you can get 270 on a power shot with a bow, that's without any boons, that's without anything else. So you can just imagine to yourself. You don't need to take Artemis. You can take a high percentage one like Aphrodite and just get massive bonuses. You could say too that this doesn't work as well with poison, but bow never really worked well with poison on its attack. Special maybe you poison the whole room, but you don't want lightning strike, or you don't want chain lightning, and you don't want poison. You maybe don't. Well, Ares Doom is okay because you can line people up and get a bunch of people because it does pierce, but it's not amazing for those other ones necessarily. But anyway, yeah, it's fantastic. It's A tier for sure. Chiron aspect. I should level this up because this is another S tier weapon. So Chiron aspect, you take once you've hit an enemy with your attack, all of your special arrows for a period of time goes to that enemy. This is so good. It's so good. It's transformative. You play differently. You play in like a more like you're tagging your target and you send out your arrows to take them down. If you can get, so a good combination that you should go for is you get Aphrodite on your attack. So you've got the weak curse, and then you apply poison with your special. This is such a powerful combination. It's maybe one of the most powerful combinations available to us at the moment. And then if you get the duo boon between them, you've got 8 stacks, right? So you get immediately 8 stacks of poison, and it's got double curse. You've got privilege status going on. It's so good. It's just the synergies are ridiculous. And it's transformative. It totally changes the way you play. Hera aspect. Hera aspect is cool. You load up casts into the bow, and then your next attack, it releases the casts. This is another S tier weapon in my opinion. This is so good. It's so powerful, and it transforms the way you play. Suddenly, you care a lot more about your cast than you do your special, or even your attack that much, right? Like, this is like another cast weapon, which I really appreciate. Cast always felt like it was slapped on in the game before the weapon aspects kind of came along. I mean, I loved Blade Rift, but like, or hunting blades especially, but it always felt like, why would I go for a cast build when I'm grabbing one of these weapons, right? Like, why would, they don't do anything to the cast. Well, friends, now we've got those, and this is one of the better ones. Hera aspect is great. I really like it with like, especially with like Dionysus actually, because I just hate lobbing. I hate lobbing tipsy shot. It makes me so upset every time I have to do that. I just really hate it. So this makes it like a fast delivery system for your cast. It's just good with anything. I think the only one that it's not good with is blade rifts that don't have hunting blades, right? So if you don't have the duo boon hunting blades, I wouldn't pick up Blade Rift unless you were going for that, because your cast is going to just float away from the enemies and not do a ton of damage at all. It'll do some. I mean, it'll do a decent amount, but it's not going to have that burst that you want from, or that you're going to get from the other the other cast boons. But so transformative changes the way you play with the bow. I love it. S tier for sure. One of my favorites, for sure. All right. So let's talk about the rail. The rail is our last weapon that we're going to talk about today. Zagreus aspect, max, bonus max ammo. Okay, so this is fine. I like this one. I give this a B. It's very, very good if you get like the flurry attack and you want lots and lots of bullets. But you often can get the unlimited ammo hammer upgrade, and then that makes it like, wow, why do I even have the bonus ammo? I guess it's like, if you think about it, if you've already got them all unlocked, like, yeah, great. Just of course the bonus one just gives you more ammo, and that's awesome. If you replace it, no big deal. Well, but if you're trying to decide what to pay for, what to buy first, I wouldn't buy this one. This would be one of the last ones I'd buy, because if you want one of those fast, high attack speed, lots of bullets, lots of bonus effects going off, you kind of want that unlimited ammo thing anyway, where you never have to reload, right? So Zagreus aspect, it's a B. It's fine. It's good. I like it. Obviously, it's good for those fast attack speed builds, like with your lightning, your chain lightning from Zeus, your poison, somewhat your poison anyway. Crits. I mean, it works with a lot of things. It's a lot of fun. I like it, but it's not all that powerful. It's a good thing. Like it adds more ammo, which is nice. It's a good bonus. So I give it a B. Solid B. All right. Eris aspect. For 8 seconds after absorbing your special's blast, deal more damage. This is an S tier weapon for sure. This is not 60% of your attack damage, or 60% of your cast damage, or 60% of your special damage. It's 60% of all damage that you do. Your poison goes up by 60%. Your doom curse goes up by 60%. Everything that you do, your call goes up by 60%. It's a ridiculous weapon. It's so much extra damage, and all you have to do is let the thing hit you. So if you've got, say you get the rocket aspect, well then you blast the rocket into the wall, and you've got this bonus for 8 seconds. 8 seconds you get 60% bonus damage to everything. Almost nothing else boosts your doom damage. Almost nothing other than like Ares boons might boost doom damage. Dionysus boons boost poison damage, but almost nothing else can. So this is like kind of a cool thing. It just does a lot of bonus damage. It's cool. Does it transform the way the weapon works? No, it does not. I guess it does a little bit. You have to be in the blast, but I don't think. I don't especially love the way that it works. It's very powerful, so it's S tier for sure. Flavor wise, I don't exactly see it. I don't exactly love it, but whatever. It's still an S tier easily. Yeah, it's good with it. I can't imagine a build where it's not good. Everything is good with this because it buffs everything that you do. All right, Hestia aspect. Hestia aspect, you fire, and then you have to manually reload. If you just fire your next shots, if you reload when you run out of ammo, you don't get the bonus effect. You have to manually reload. So, and it's a lot of damage. It's 150 empowered shot damage. This is a lot of fun to run around. If you've got crit, you run around, you're one-shotting enemies. You do huge amounts of damage in a giant burst, and it's cool. It's so cool. Is it the most powerful thing in the world? No, I would give this a B, and the reason why is because it's a little bit clunky to use. So I'll give you some history on this one. This one used to be a hammer upgrade. You would get it changed it. I think it's called Heavy Slug or something. You would get one shot. Your clip has one shot in it, and it does 80 damage. And so, yes, the damage is more. It's 150 versus 80, almost double. But manually reloading, let me tell you, friends, it is obnoxious to manually reload. Because at least the way I have my keys mapped out, it's awkward. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, just remap your reload button. Like, come on, man, it's not that big a deal. Well, I feel like that's kind of an awkward thing to have to do to make a weapon aspect work. So it just kind of gives me it puts a bad taste in my mouth. I like it flavor-wise. I think this is super cool. I like the idea of running around with a Magnum, giant 6-shooter, or even like a shotgun. Although you can't get the spread fire, won't work on this. It'll still just fire a single shot, and that's fine. It's like the railgun thing, right? I would have preferred if they'd done something like you get the empowered shot, and it's still 80 damage, and it's only a clip with one bullet in it, but it's like a piercing shot. Just, I don't know. I don't need 150 bonus damage. I need to not have to push this button every time I want an empowered shot, right? Like, I want to build around that, but it makes it so annoying to have to reload all the time. But I'm going to play again with, I'm going to use this a lot in the future, I think, and I'm going to remap it to a different key, and I'm sure I'll like it a lot more then. And truthfully, this is the only weapon where you need to reload, so what am I really complaining about? Just fix your doggone setup, Jawless Paul. You're a big whiner. Fair enough. I will do so, but it's still not the most powerful thing, and it's annoying to like, I can't remember. Did I reload? Oh, I didn't. Crap. Let's go reload, and then I have to run over here, and you can dash and kind of animation skip or whatever. But like, you can't reload if you haven't fired off a shot, and I don't know. It feels clunky to me. Why is it that the first shot would be more powerful if I just reload? Why? And then why is it that the first shot would be more powerful if I run out of ammo and I automatically reload? It's not. Anyway. It's not a big deal. I shouldn't be yelling. I should stop yelling. My doctor is. I should be watching my blood pressure, whatnot. So. That is all the weapons, friends. I'm gonna put all of the weapons in their tiers up at the top, and you should have seen some cards while I talked about those different weapon aspects with some cool runs that I've done recently that kind of showcase these different weapon aspects. I hope that helps you in your decision making as you're kind of figuring out what to use your blood for. When I first started playing with this patch a couple months ago, I was super overwhelmed. I was like, there's no way I'm going to unlock all this stuff. There's so much crap, so much blood required to make it happen. Well, I mean, it happens faster than you think. This game is incredibly addictive. And so I'm pretty much there with most of these. And it's been a blast. This is always fun. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for watching these videos. Once again, if you liked it, leave a comment below if you have opinions about how any of these work. If you think I've misranked them, I'm sure there's plenty of opinions out there. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let's have a discussion about this, because I think I'd love it if Supergiant was kind of listening to our suggestions, because I think there's still room to adjust things in the game. But some of them are already perfect. Any of the S tier ones that I've mentioned, in my opinion, well, I guess, no. This Eris aspect, I wouldn't say that's necessarily perfect. It could use a little bit more flavor, and it's maybe too powerful. It's too powerful, but it's S tier. It's really strong. I think I need my but all the other S tier ones, in my opinion, these two, Chiron aspect, Hera aspect, so transformative. Zeus aspect, transformative, not the most powerful thing and very hard to use effectively. Chaos aspect, super fun, super effective, and Achilles aspect, S tier, really solid for cast specifically. I think it's amazing. And then none of these are S tier, but Nemesis aspect is getting close. It's just for flavor wise, it just doesn't do it for me, and it doesn't change the way I play. But it's very powerful anyway. Guys, thanks for watching, guys and gals. I love you all. And we'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy.